Hey y'all, my name is Jessie, and this is a Two Sticks and String podcast. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, crochet, cross-stitch, cats, and sometimes K-pop. It has been over 2 years since I last recorded, and I am excited to say that I am back. We are getting ready to move to our new location, but I wanted to get one last episode here in this house. So let's get started. First off, if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram as armywifeknitlife, and you can find me on Ravelry as armywifeknitlife. There is also a Ravelry group, though it is inactive because I have been inactive, but I am so glad to be back. First off, I wanted to say that welcome to new viewers, and thank you for coming back if you're a returning viewer. I know it's been a long time. I know that there's been a lot going on since then, so there's just a lot to happen. So first off, just give me 2 seconds, and I have a major finished object to show y'all, okay? So just give me 2 seconds to grab it, all right? I graduated, y'all. This is my major finished object. I graduated with my bachelor's from UNCP in history about 3 weeks ago, and I am pretty dang proud of myself. So this is one of 2 finished objects, but this is the one I'm most proud of. Give me a second and I'll get back to normal clothes. I'm back. All right, y'all. So as y'all heard, I graduated with my bachelor's 3 weeks ago, and that is why I have not been podcasting, because these 2 years that I was finishing up was rough. I was on a time crunch. My husband was deployed for part of it, and then he was sent to his own school in a different state for a year. So I was handling the house by myself, which isn't that hard. It's just me and 2 cats. But I was also on a time crunch because we have to move in less than a month. And since I graduated 3 weeks ago, there wasn't a lot of room for error in classes, and I was taking 18 credit hours most semesters to be sure that I got everything done in time without issues. I ended up with a 3.915 overall GPA for my time there, so I worked really hard, and I just did not have a lot of crafting time. Most of what I did, I finished Desert Vista Dyeworks socks every single month, but a lot of times that was the only crafting I did for a month. And this is her final year of doing the sock knit along, and so I'm participating in it, and you'll see my whip in a second. But that's why I haven't been podcasting. I haven't had a lot of crafting. I didn't have the time to craft. But now that I've graduated, I've got some time. So first off, I do have one finished object I'm going to share. There was one I finished 2 weeks ago with my mom, but it is already packed. So I'm not going to dig it out of its packing stuff to show it to y'all. You can see it when we get to our new location. But I do have this blanket that I finished as a Christmas present, and it's not packed because my dad will be here in about a week, and he's going to take it home with him so my mom can take it to where its final destination will be. So I made this blanket. It is crocheted corner to corner, and it's all cotton. It's Cascade, Nifty, Splash Effects, and just Splash, I believe. And so this one is the Nifty Cotton Effects. The other one is Splash. Okay. This is Blue Coral. This is the Effects, and it's Vibrant Blooms. It's a really beautiful, like, creamy back with a bunch of bright colors. And then this pink here is also the Splash, and it's in Carnation. And I used some of the Vibrant Bloom as a border. The pink and this Vibrant Blooms are both leftover yarn from my mom and I's crafty retreat after I graduated. We both made the Seven Sisters top, and I will put who it's by down here. and I will potentially show a picture of my mother's finished one. It's not a great picture of her, but it shows off the sweater. And she made hers in this pink color, and I made mine in this color here. And then this is not leftovers, but I also have a sweater quantity in this, and you're going to see its whip in just a moment. But so I'm using up all of this yarn, and it is a Christmas present for my cousin. His wife had a baby this year, and I already made them a baby blanket, but I am a believer in having a big blanket so they can grow up with it, and so this is hers. And I'm really excited about this. I have missed crafting, and this is something really simple to ease my way back in. The Seven Sisters top was also a great way to ease in as well, because it's a very straightforward knit. I'll talk about it more in a second. But so that was my only finished object. Let's start talking about whips. I have something shocking for y'all. I prefer cross stitch over knitting and crocheting right now. I don't know if that's always going to be the case, but right now cross stitch just, it makes my heart so happy. And so I have a few different cross stitch whips to show you, and only 2 knitting whips. But so the first one, I just started this 2 days ago because I'm trying to, well, I'll explain this. Since we are moving, we're going to be in a hotel for a month while we wait for our house on post to be available, open up, and move into. And I need some sort of creative outlet while I'm going to be in a hotel for 5 weeks. And it's much easier to bring cross stitch than it is to bring knitting, because it doesn't take a lot of space and it takes longer to do. And so I've started a few of these so that I have things to do in the hotel room, because I wanted to have options, and I don't really like to have to start the project when I'm in the hotel, because it's stressful. I'd rather do it at home. So that's why I have a few of these. And there are more cross stitch whips that I'm bringing that are started, but I also haven't worked on them in a very long time, so I'm not going to drag it out of the box that I'm taking. But so this is my first one. The bag is by a shop that's no longer in business. I am sorry, but it's really cute. The needle minder is Rudolph, and it's from Etsy as well. I'm trying to think of the name of the shop. I'll know it's Kim's something. I'm going to pull it up right now. Sorry, y'all. I'm out of practice. Can you tell? It's from Kim's Needle Minders. So there it is, Rudolph in all of their glory. I love Rudolph. And then this is my start for the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Nutcracker Parade. I used the kit for it, and so it is on 14 count Aida. Picture this plus fabric in the colorway Nessie. Is it still a colorway when it's cross stitch? I don't know, but I just have a little over 100 stitches on this because I like to have at least that as a start. I like to have landmarks so I can easily tell where I am in the pattern for when I pick it up again. So, and these are just basic magnetic cable cords to hold excess fabric down and out of the way. I am not that fancy to have like a book of days or anything, and so my information on when I started it is just on a little Vera Bradley note paper. So I'm not fancy by any means, but it gets the job done for now, especially since up until recently I wasn't crafting at all, and cross stitch was my lesser craft. I mean, not meaning it is lesser than knit and crochet, but meaning like it's the one that I do the least amount of my crafty options. The next one is also Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and shocker, you're going to see a lot of Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery here. This is their Chinese Zodiac Sal. This bag is from Lakewind Studio on Etsy. I love her bags so much. Let me go up a little closer. There we go. It's cacti, and I always get the little notions pouch to go with, just because right now I have all of my notions that I could ever possibly need in a different bag, but that's because I'm only pulling from this one bag for the trip. I really like the zipper pull is a little cactus on here. It's really hard to see, but there we go. All right, this is where I am. The needle minder is also Kim's Needle Minders. It's The Labyrinth, which fantastic movie. I love it. But as I said, here is Chinese Zodiac by Frosted Pumpkin. I have done the mouse. I've marked the very top because I needed to make sure it would fit. I got really nervous. I wasn't paying attention when I placed my center of this fabric a few stitches up. And so I wanted to make sure that I could actually get to the highest point in this fabric without running out of border space. And so I have these two singular stitches up here, and then the center portion of the medallion, and then a little rat for You're the Rat. So also this is on 14 count Aida as well, and just picture this plus in sand. It's really weird to not know if it's a colorway or not. Cross stitch experts, do you call a dye fabric a colorway, or what do you call it? I need to know. Okay, the next one. This bag is from Crafty Husky. Here's the back. And if you can't guess based off of what's on this, I'll tell you. I am participating in this year's Frosted Pumpkin Stuttery? Frosted Pumpkin Stitcheries Sal, the Stitch Along, Arctic Animals. So I had to get a bag to match. Here is the Notions pouch. It just holds all my floss. Here is my small start of clue 1. The next clue doesn't come out for another week. I started this when I was on my trip with my mother though, and so like I haven't even like put the cords, the cable ties on the fabric. Needle minder is also from Kim's Needle Minders. But so I just have a little basic start on it. And I figured I would save the rest for when I am in the hotel, because that's a small stitch along that I can handle. I also have one more cross stitch whip that I'm going to show y'all, and you're going to look at me and say, Jessica, you're insane. You don't cross stitch that often. Why would you start something this big? And let me tell you, I am insane, but I'm also a nerd, and so is my husband. So I'm gonna make it. I have started the Epic Pokemon Gen 1 from Lord Libidan, and also Kim's Needle Minder. I also like Doctor Who. I have just the smallest bit of these Taurus's horns to fill in, and then I have completed the first page. This is not going to be going with me though into the hotel, because this is all the floss I need for it, and it's a little too complex for what I'm trying to do. I actually have one more. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't pull this out to show y'all. This is what I'm most excited about. This one's not going with me though. I'm going to finish off his horns, and then he's getting packed in one of these crates right here so that I don't have to worry about it. And I might have page lines, but that's okay because this is just, it's too complex to work in a hotel when I'm going to have limited space to put out my supplies and everything for the month. Okay, last cross stitch whip for real. This one is not a frosted pumpkin. It is from Spring Day, I believe. I'm going to pull it up right now. Also, that's 18 count easy grid fabric from Dyeing for Cross Stitch. This is from Stitchhill. The bag is from Lakewind Studio as well. This is the Notions pouch, is this same exact pattern, just smaller. But so it's unicorns, it's Lisa Frank. I love it. All right, so this is Stitchhill, and it's BT21 characters. I'm sorry, I'm not going to take it off of the Q-snap to show you the whole thing, but it does go all the way up here. There's Shooky, part of Tata. You'll see RJ right here, Cookie, Koya, Mong, and I'm working on filling in Chimmy. I did all of the black outlining on it first, and so now all I have to really do is fill in, which is a very easy thing to do in the hotel. My needle minder is from A Needle Runs Through It, and it's a frosted. I bought it from Frosted Pumpkin, and normally I would not have a thread sticking out, but I'm getting ready to move, y'all. It's crazy times. I'm sorry. I'm lucky I'm getting things done at this point. You can see my craft room is kind of condensed down from what it used to be because I can't have everything, and I like to pack some of it ahead of time so that I know it's safe. But this is the bag that is going to be filled with all of my projects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 others in here. One is the Castle Homecoming Stitch Along from Frosted Pumpkin. One is the Christmas wreath from Frosted Pumpkin. I haven't even started it yet. It's happening this week. I have the Christmas Wonderland from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And then, technically this is haul, but I went to Barefoot Needle Art in Myrtle Beach with my mother, and I bought everything I needed for the Vote As If sale that was designed and is being hosted by my friend Notorious Needlework. So I have everything I need in here to do it. And I have a cross stitch bag for it, waiting. But so everything is going to be in here, and that's the only bag I am taking with me to the hotel that is of crafts. That's it. That and this. I don't know if this is made yet when I recorded last. This is a project bag that my mother made for me for my birthday a few years ago. And it's a little drawstring. It's really cute. It's all cats because we know I love cats. And it's got paw prints here. And in here is my whips for my yarn and everything I need to do the Desert Vista Dyeworks socks up through September. So it's nothing fancy. This is leftovers from a scan I did 2 months ago. This is, I believe, called Coyote. And so these socks are for my mother. I have leftovers from last month's sock, which is Monster High. This is also going to be a pair for my mother. The other pair was made for my best friend's mom. Same with this one. They were gifted to her already. And then I also have Harold in the purple crayon. So this is June, July, August, September. So hopefully my stuff arrives and is located before September. We're not moving into our house until July 31st. So that's why I'm hoping that I find everything before then, and I pray that they don't lose our stuff. That's always a risk with military moves. So, all right, but here is Coyote. As I said, this was her exclusive colorway for finishing the knit along. I believe it was 2 years ago. I think so. It is a tweed base. I normally go for the sparkle. I knit my socks toe up with a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I do it on whatever needle is available. These are carbons, and they are a US size 1, which is a 2.25. I knit them one at a time, but I really don't have a problem with second sock syndrome. So I'm lucky like that. I also knit socks generally really quickly, so there's also that. My next project, which is my last whip, this is a Seven Sisters top. And it doesn't really look like anything yet. I'm just working. It's a bottom-up shirt. And so that's all it is right now. And yes, this is going to fit me. I promise. I've already made one, so I know it fits. I had to do a modification on the pattern, not in like changing any of the elements, but my size was not available in this pattern, and so I had to do some math and figure out how to make it in my size, and that's all it is. It's really simple math because it's a boxy top and it's straight without any shaping. So if it was anything else, I probably wouldn't have been able to figure it out, but I can do this. And so, as I said earlier with the blanket, this is Cascade Nifty Cotton Effects in the blue coral colorway, and I am really excited to have this done before we leave because I'm about an inch away from splitting for the front and back to start making sleeves and everything. I want this done before we move though, so I can wear it because George is going to be hot and I don't do well in the heat. So a cotton top will be nice. It's not too heavy. Also, because if I have this done before I go, I don't like to leave things on my needles during a move. So I have a few other projects to finish, but again, I haven't touched them in a very long time. So I have a ripple bralette to finish. I have my socks and I have this. And I have a sweater that my friend is finishing for me. I've done everything up to the yoke, but my brain is just mush at this point. So she's going to figure out the cabling in the yoke that I could not for whatever reason. It was just beyond me. And that's on the Zadie sweater. And y'all know, if you've watched me before, you know I can do cables with no problem. My favorite finished object is a cabled sweater. I can do cables. The sweaters, the writing, the instructions just do not make sense to me. So I'm done fighting with it. She's volunteered to finish it for me though. So those are my only two other whips that need to be finished before I leave. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited to need it done because, Mom, if you're watching, skip ahead a few minutes, okay? For Christmas, well, my mother really enjoyed making this shirt, and it looks really good on her, and it fits really well. But she kept commenting that she loved my color, the Vibrant Blooms, and she wishes she had some of that yarn. So, after she left, I went on to yarn.com, or webs, and I purchased 3 sweater quantities. 1 in the Vibrant Blooms colorway, and then 2 in the Carnation colorway. And so my mom and I will have matching Vibrant Bloom sweaters, and we will have matching Carnation sweaters. The yarn has arrived, but my Swift is here. I'm not good at pointing things on the camera, y'all. I'm sorry. This is not a fancy podcast, by any means. My Swift has not been packed yet, but my winder has. So those skeins of yarn are not getting touched until we are in our new house in Georgia and like my room is set up. But I want them done for Christmas this year. So thankfully these sweaters do not take a lot of time. I'm really grateful for that. The progress I've shown you on my 7 Sisters, it's about a day and a half of knitting. So it's not hard by any means. It doesn't take a long time. My mom and I knit ours on our crafting retreat within a week. And that's with us going out shopping and going out to eat, going to see shows. So it can very easily be done. I just have to make sure I have everything ready to do them when my stuff is set up. So that is my plans for when we get to the new house. I'm going to keep working on Pokemon. When we get home, I'm going to work on my sweaters, and that's all I know at this point. I just got to make it through the move at this point. Oh goodness, my cat, I have the door shut so the cats don't interrupt, and they just jumped against the door and scared me. As I said, I'm not a professional podcaster, y'all. I'm so sorry. But I have fun doing it, so if you have fun, please feel free to come back. I'm going to try and get one episode done in the hotel. I'm not going to promise that, though. It just kind of depends on the setup and what we can make work. But I'm going to try, and it'll just be cross-stitch. And I think this podcast is going to veer into a floss tube more, so that's why I'm going to have the floss tube in my title now. So there will be more cross-stitch than anything, and after that, it'll be once we're moved in and settled that I'll do my next one. So bear with me for the summer, and we'll be in our house in August finally. And I hope to see y'all again. And until I see you, do what makes your heart sing. For me, that's 2 sticks and string. See ya.